TooSmooveEli back with another reaction video. Today we have the top 5 biggest conflict explosions of all time. Since we are watching the YNW Melly case, why not get into some, you feel me? But let's get into it. He said you just gave me 40 years. Well, guess what?
40 years. Well, guess what? So man.
YouTube, nothing. This is informational video. This is just, you know, a weirdness. There's nothing. There's nothing bad in this. Don't block me, please. Don't strike me for sure, please.
Who is facing charges for multiple armed robberies in Ohio. Ricky was charged with aggravated robbery, attempted safecracking, abduction, breaking and entering.
Give me 40 years, sir.
Ricky had been on a robbing spree for years, and he was most likely getting confident in his ability. However,
like, why are you robbing niggas, bro?
With robbing quickly turned sour the night he tried to rob
nigga, you crying? Bro, get your weak ass
on drive-through in Springfield, Ohio.
I ain't gonna cap. I'm not looking at anything. I'm going straight to the court case. I do not want to see anything else.
I think I hit him.
Cause they gon' show some shit that's gonna give me.
Out he did in fact hit him, because only 2 days later, a man admitted himself to the nearby hospital to treat bullet wounds. It didn't take long for police to piece together that this was most likely the robber they were looking for. Arrests were made at the hospital.
I'm just gonna look at the court days and footage like this. I'm not gonna see the footage of them anything because YouTube, they gonna trip.
He was questioned that night.
Tried to rob John's drive-thru. Got shot 3 times. I did the crime. I ain't gonna lie. I just wanted to live.
If you thought the crimes were horrendous enough, wait until you see how Ricky reacted after being sentenced. As the judge drops the bombshell and hands Ricky a 40-year sentence, the man's mind
that's life for you, my guy.
As if to confirm what he heard, he asked the judge if that was his sentence.
Did you just give me 40 years, sir?
If you're not ready for some shit like that, bro, stay out the way. Y'all niggas be trying to do shit. Y'all not ready to hear that. Y'all not ready. A lot of y'all not ready to hear you got like you got this. Y'all not ready, bro. So stop trying to do all this shit. Stop.
Nobody expected that Ricky had a surprise up his sleeve, or rather, in his arm sling.
Closely. Hand reaches into his arm sling and pulls out some cloth that was hiding a small bottle.
This genius had hidden pill bottles filled with his own feces and urine right under his arm the whole time. In the blink of an eye, Ricky whips out those bottles of nastiness and throws them at his defense lawyer.
Damn, why you do him like that?
Foul-smelling justice, and the courtroom was in complete chaos. I guess Ricky wanted to make sure he left a lasting impression in that courtroom. Boy,
that boy's smiling though. He tried to get out. As soon as he see him reach, that boy said, "Hold on, what you reaching for?" That boy got out quick. He's smiling and shit though. That's cool. Hi, you got 40. Hi.
You just gave me 40 years. Well, guess what?
Stupid ass boy. Shit never did it, you nuthead. Bald ass nigga. Now look, you bent over and they destroying you. It really is for you. Look at her, ready to put that on
Unlike
Snapchat.
In comedy movies, Ricky's actions
you guys wouldn't believe it. Look at this.
Ricky is now facing additional charges. That's right, 5 counts of harassment with bodily substances, 1 count for his lawyer, and the other 4 for the poor deputies who got caught in the crossfire. However disgusting he thought Ricky's explosion was, this wasn't the only time a criminal had an obscene outburst.
Even worse.
There's the case of Shondell Jackson. This is Shondell Jackson, who is facing charges for murder in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. In 2010, a 19-year-old named Shondell Jackson attempted to rob Nathan Potter, a 21-year-old student at the University of Wisconsin-Milwaukee, who was returning to his apartment. Unfortunately for them, Potter wasn't carrying any cash, but instead of just walking away and chalking it up as a failed robbery, Jackson shot Potter, tragically ending his young life.
Stupidity.
Now, you'd expect someone convicted of
look at this lunch, dumbass nigga. As soon as you niggas get them years, bro, y'all swear y'all crazy, bro. Get your little weak ass on, bro.
To feel some iota of remorse, right? Well, not Jackson.
But why? Why?
Trial, he showed 0 remorse and even had the audacity to smirk at Potter's family. Smirking in the face of such a
bro, honestly, if I was a judge or whatever, a security guard, I'd be like, that's cool. You can act tough, nigga, but you're never leaving. Like, y'all have the last laugh. These niggas can act that way, but they're in jail for life or whatever. But like, bro, that's cool. You can do the little cute smile, think you doing, bro. You're bye. You feel me?
Heart-wrenching tragedy. It's enough
Niggas
to make your blood
for real,
boil.
bro.
Nathan's father gave
in
a
his
very
life over a robbery is
emotional victim impact statement during the trial. He asked for the maximum sentence and called Jackson.
Where he just lifted you off his back. I'm sleeping.
Nathan's crimes pure evil.
Nothing that can be said to bring back our Nathan. But your sentence can ensure that Shondell does not have the opportunity as a free man to inflict pain like this again.
Things took a wild turn when the judge finally dropped the hammer and sentenced Jackson to life in prison with no chance of parole. Jackson's anger boiled over, and he unleashed a storm of curses at the judge and court officers.
Just let your whole family down, bro.
The scene quickly descended into chaos as court officers had to jump in, tackling Jackson, and even resorting to pepper spraying him to bring him under control. But the man,
it be taking faux cops, bro. Like, bro, why are you even doing this job if you gotta take
didn't end there. Sitting in the back of the courtroom, Jackson's family couldn't resist chiming in. They decided to insult Potter's mother, spewing hatred as if she was responsible for Jackson's heinous crime.
Like sentence.
What? The behavior was very puzzling both for the victim's family and onlookers.
There is some redemption for him at some point, but that's totally up to him. And for his family to say to us,
she's trying to make sure he don't look bad.
We didn't do a thing to him.
Shondell Jackson didn't seem to think that his crimes required life imprisonment, which led to the outburst. However, he wasn't the only convict who thought they deserved lesser sentences. There was Manson Bryant, who was facing charges for multiple crimes, including robbery and abduction in Ohio.
The court determines that you have or will have the ability to pay restitution.
A familiar face in Judge Lucci's courtroom, Bryant, at 32 years old, has quite the rap sheet, dating back to his juvenile days. He's been in and out of prison multiple times, with at least 8 of his cases landing on Judge Lucci's desk. Talk about a regular customer. So, in his most recent case, Bryant was found guilty of some serious charges.
The verdict was guilty in count 1, aggravated burglary, felony 1, guilty in count 2, aggravated burglary, felony 1, guilty in count 3, aggravated robbery, felony 1, guilty in count 4, felony 1, guilty in count 5, abduction, felony 3, and guilty in count 7, which I renumbered for the jury as count 6.
If you think his crimes were bad, brace yourself for his behavior in court. Bryant's day of reckoning arrived as he stood before Judge Lucci for his sentencing. Initially, Bryant...
I wonder what the hell do you expect?
It appeared to accept his fate,
2 weeks of community service, had to rob 90 niggas and shoot
expressing respect for the judge's decision.
I made a lifetime of bad decisions.
But brace yourselves, folks, because the respect didn't last long. When Judge Lucci handed down a 22...
That's how it always be, you feel me? I wouldn't even spaz until after the sentence, because, like, it's not over till it's over. So doing all that before just makes it worse.
Poured out in a profanity-laced tirade that echoed through the courtroom. He unleashed a barrage of expletives, accusing the judge of racism and disrespecting his courtroom. But here's where things took an unexpected turn.
The ability to pay restitution.
Fuck the courtroom, you racist ass bitch! Fuck your courtroom, man! You racist as fuck!
Judge Lucci initially considered Bryant's remorse and attempted to be fair, but he changed his mind due to the outburst. Watch as Judge Lucci tries to get his words out between Manson's outburst.
Wait a minute. When I said that you had a certain amount of remorse, I was mistaken. So it's 28 years with credit for 231 days.
Judge tacked on an additional 6 years to the sentence, making it 28 years behind bars, but Bryant's defiance continued. He hurled insults even as court deputies led him away. About 3 minutes after the incident, Judge Lucci can be heard laughing about the moments that just transpired.
He seemed so calm and cool and civil until the sentence.
According to Judge Lucci, this wasn't the first time Bryant had shown such disrespect. Eventually, the additional 6 years was struck out by a superior court.
It wasn't on the record, but the last time, as he was walking out of the court, he said, "Suck my dick, Judge."
Bryant's outburst may have been uncalled for.
Niggas is taking.
However, some cases are so heartrending that outbursts
feelings
might
and
be
shit into
overlooked,
their
like the case of Dexter Johnson.
Can't add more
facing
years
charges
because you
for
feel
murder
hurt.
in Houston. This tragic story began when Johnson and 4 others carjacked Maria Aparici and Hoi Ngo, her boyfriend, in 2006. The gang held the couple at gunpoint while they took their belongings, then drove them around Houston. Johnson and his accomplice, Keithron Fields, subjected them to a nightmarish ordeal of torture and humiliation. Police reported that Maria Aparici and her boyfriend were shot in the head and left in the woods. It took 5 days before their bodies were discovered. Now in a Harris County courtroom, 19-year-old Dexter Johnson faced his punishment for the crimes he committed. Though Dexter admitted his role in the crime, he was persistent in his defense, claiming that he was not the shooter. Throughout the trial, Johnson remained stone-faced, his eyes fixed on the defense table. But a wave of emotions overwhelmed him when the decision was finally announced: the death penalty. Tears streamed down his face as he looked towards his family, wanting to...
Bro, I just want to know how, like, is niggas that stupid? That's all. Is niggas that stupid? That's the only question I have in this world. Why are niggas so stupid?
Unsure of what to do
like,
next.
what the hell? You chilling, right? You playing a game with your niggas. Hey, let's go rob somebody's car. I robbed it. Okay, we got it. We got everything we need. Okay, now let's just pop them. Like, what? And, and then when we get in trouble, let's cry. Like, come on, bro. Get the hell out of here. Hoe ass nigga. Hoe ass nigga. Yeah, bitch.
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, this is going to complete your jury service. I'm going to meet you in the jury room.
All rise.
And then it happened. In an instant, Johnson's rage consumed him, and he hurled a chair across the room. Chaos erupted as officers swiftly tackled him.
Dude, nigga,
courtroom
you get your scary ass on. Get your scary ass on. You trying to hide under a desk. I'm weak as hell.
The scene was heart-wrenching as Johnson's relatives wailed and begged for mercy. 2 of his family members collapsed, requiring immediate medical attention.
He is cuffed up with officers all around.
Raw emotions.
But niggas do not care about letting their family down, I swear. Niggas said, do you want an ambulance? Niggas passed out.
The presiding judge, Denise Collins, reached out to console those affected by this dramatic episode. She offered kind words and support to the parents of Maria Aparici, the woman whom Johnson robbed, sexually assaulted, and killed. It was a moment of solace amid chaos. Emotion was a constant presence in this case. Johnson's mother, Renee Johnson, passionately defended her son, declaring his innocence and putting her faith in divine intervention. Protasio Aparici Jr., the grieving father of Maria Aparici, expressed his pain and spoke of the violence inflicted upon his daughter. In a way, it could be said that Johnson got what he deserved, and his outburst was understandable. However, there are other convicts whose punishment seemed lenient and their outbursts confusing. Such is the case of Eric Penland.
You number one, let me know something.
Child endangerment charges in Ohio. Penland was convicted of violently shaking the child, causing permanent disabilities.
What?
Eric Penland was charged with shaking his then-infant son so violently 2 years ago, the boy is now blind and permanently disabled. I was there as the verdict was read in a courtroom full of emotion.
The abuse occurred when the child was just 3 months old. Sharon Lawson and her husband, who have been dedicated foster parents to disabled and abused children, began caring for Penland's baby boy in 2017. The now 2-year-old victim was formally adopted by the Lawsons a few weeks before the sentencing and has since relocated out of the area, providing him with a safe and loving environment. The prosecution explained that for the rest of the boy's life,
Eric will rely on others to bathe him, dress him, change his diapers, feed him.
The lifelong consequences of Penland's actions are devastating and irreversible. Sharon Lawson also expressed the unimaginable agony they endured while caring for the baby. The child's relentless screaming, which lasted for hours on end, left them completely unprepared for the severity of the abuse.
Nothing prepared us for the screaming. Hours and hours of screaming.
It was a very disturbing case indeed. Nevertheless, Penland insisted that he was innocent.
I've been falsely accused. I've been wrongfully convicted.
If you think that Penland would be remorseful or that his actions were horrible, you'll be shocked by his behavior in court. Throughout the entire legal process, Penland showed no remorse. Prosecutors also highlighted Penland's prior criminal record, including robbery convictions and a federal firearms charge. Due to his previous offenses, mandatory prison time was inevitable in this case, and the prosecution requested the maximum sentence.
I would submit to the court that this entire record is absolutely devoid of any remorse by the defendant.
And the maximum sentence he got. Penland was sentenced to 11 years in prison. Prosecutors emphasized that Penland wasn't facing more severe charges because the baby had miraculously survived his injuries. After Penland heard that he would spend the next decade in prison, he displayed his frustration and disbelief by bowing his head,
you got it off easy, my boy.
Finally unleashing an outburst of profanity, proclaiming his innocence.
Man. I didn't do anything wrong, man.
If you thought these explosions in court were shocking, you need to see this video of serial killers.
Bro, this nigga said a cuss word and you put him over number 1. Ain't no damn way. This nigga said a fuck you, man, and you put him at number 1. But if y'all like the video, bro, if you don't want the consequences, don't do the actions, guys. Stay away from being stupid, bro. Just better yourselves. Make y'all life worth something, bro. Real shit. Make y'all life worth something. But if y'all like the video, like, comment, subscribe, check everything down below. Next time we out. Peace.